You know the rhythm. For 2 or 3 straight months, you operate at maximum capacity. You wake up early, you hit every deadline, and you navigate the daily stress of your environment by constantly pushing against the current. Then you hit a wall. For 2 to 4 days, the drive evaporates. You feel a profound physical exhaustion, an absolute apathy toward your work, and you find yourself staring at a screen running on pure autopilot. The immediate reaction is usually harsh. You look at your sudden inability to answer a simple email or get off the couch and label it a moral failing. You tell yourself you are being lazy. But look at the timing. This exact pattern, months of high performance followed by a sudden, days-long crash, recurs with almost clockwork regularity across high-pressure careers. This failure of willpower is a biological signal. The crash happens because your body has reached a specific physiological limit. When you reach this limit, your defense systems initiate a forced shutdown. Your brain is essentially pulling the plug on your ability to exert effort. This state of paralyzing laziness is a survival mechanism. It is a biological protective measure designed to prevent your brain from sustaining lasting damage from its own stress response. Biology operates on a well-known baseline called homeostasis. This is your body's attempt to keep its internal environment perfectly stable and calm. High-stress environments require a different gear. To survive pressure, your body relies on allostasis, a costly process where it achieves stability by actively changing your internal chemistry. This chart shows that shift. The flat line represents homeostasis, but under stress it spikes into active allostasis. Here, your system floods with adrenaline and cortisol to provide peak productivity and survival focus. In short bursts, this chemical cocktail is harmless. However, maintaining that elevated output for weeks creates an intense physical strain on your nervous system. Eventually, the system enters stage 2, allostatic load. Your rhythm flattens into chronic fatigue. While you're still working, as the area chart shows, the invisible wear and tear on your cells is accumulating rapidly. Prolonged productivity under pressure isn't free. It's a biological debt your body eventually collects with interest. To see how that debt is collected, we have to look at the chemistry inside your brain during a prolonged state of allostatic load. While cortisol is helpful for short-term survival, it is neurotoxic in chronic, heavy doses. It turns from a fuel into a chemical that damages tissues. This is your hippocampus, the brain's memory center. Under chronic stress, toxic levels of cortisol literally fry the dendrites, the communication branches of your neurons. Your brain is physically degrading. Your internal safety system monitors this cellular destruction, tracking when the structural wear and tear hits a critical, life-threatening threshold. At that threshold, you enter stage 3, allostatic overload. The brain trips the circuit breaker, enforcing a state of atonimia, a total loss of physical strength and drive. The 2 to 4 days you spend on the couch are spent in emergency repair mode. Your system is dropping cortisol levels as fast as possible to fix those damaged hippocampal cells. The crash isn't a sign that you're failing to cope. It is an automated emergency medical procedure happening inside your skull. What happens if you try to hustle through this biological shutdown? What happens if you ignore the circuit breaker and keep pushing? You enter the final catastrophic stage of the stress cycle, clinical burnout. This chart compares a healthy prefrontal cortex to one in clinical burnout. Bypassing your body's safety net allows neurotoxicity to continue until the neural density in this region visibly thins. Clinical burnout causes a total loss of working capacity. Recovery requires months of medical intervention, as the brain can no longer repair this level of structural damage with a simple weekend of rest. When you feel that wave of apathy and exhaustion every few months, look at it through this scientific lens. These days of laziness are a vital feature of the human operating system. They are the only thing keeping you functional in the long term. Next time you hit the wall, drop the guilt and respect the circuit breaker. That period of doing nothing is the only barrier preventing an irreversible biological collapse.